Hello and welcome to another Charity Digital video. Cybersecurity might not be the spiciest topic, but it's absolutely essential for charities if they want to continue operations and raise funds. We have been working with our friends at the NCSC to understand the wider impact of cyber attacks and cyber breaches on the charity sector. We recently conducted research to try to understand the risks, get a sense of preparedness in the sector, and generally work out how we can best help. We discovered that, like Will and Jada, charities and cybersecurity have an interesting relationship. 98% of charities in the UK told us that cybersecurity is important to them. That's great, but a third of charities believe a cyber breach would not affect their day-to-day operations. That struck us as a little bit odd. Many charities know security is important, but don't think it's a risk. We have a bit of bad news for charities. Cyber breaches will impact day-to-day operations. In fact, they can do much worse. And charities are pretty susceptible for two main reasons. They hold a lot of data, and they often lack the resources to protect that data. Our survey demonstrated, perhaps unsurprisingly, that many charities prioritise service delivery and fundraising over cybersecurity. That's noble. Charities always want to help as much as possible. They are, in the immortal words of Tina Turner, simply the best. But they sometimes fail to see that service delivery and fundraising depend on adequate cybersecurity. You cannot provide services if your tech is down, your funding models aren't working, or your operations are compromised. But worry not, like that famous Beatles song, we are here to help.
Why so many references?
Like the young Billy Piper once said, because I want to.
Can you stop?
No. Anyway, we are going to look at how cyber breaches can affect your charity, focusing on service delivery, fundraising, and reputation. Shall we begin? Let's start with service delivery, an essential element of any charity. Cyber breaches can massively impact a charity's ability to deliver services. Of the charities affected by a cyber breach in 2020, 16% involved viruses, spyware, or ransomware. These malicious attacks aim to disrupt operations and undermine access to digital, and they are pretty effective. Charities often have to cancel services because they are unable to provide digital solutions. Raising funds becomes harder because marketing and comms suffer, and fundraising platforms grind to a halt. And if user data becomes accessible to others online, you risk exposing beneficiaries, undermining public trust and taking hefty reputational damage. Not to mention the financial ramifications. Like Jean-Paul Sartre, a cyber breach can be existential.
Sorry, who?
He's a French philosopher. Try reading a book. And charities have a duty of care to stakeholders and their communities, so it's time to start protecting. Charities do not run on air.
What?
They run on the kindness and generosity of donors. It's essential that donors trust that you're going to use the donation well. Donors care more about efficiency than anything else, closely followed by impact. In simple terms, donors want to know that they're helping. The act of donating online means that supporters are trusting you with their data. People do not want to donate to charities who have suffered a cyber breach. And cyber breaches are costly. One charity who recently suffered a cyber breach was fined £25,000 by the Information Commissioner's Office for failing to keep its users' data secure. It's a big deal. Charities should be concerned. The financial implications can also be, like Albert Camus, existential.
Please stop.
Trust is the bread and butter of the charity sector. Reputation is one of the biggest priorities for people when choosing a cause to support. But reputation, like cybersecurity, does not exist in a vacuum. Like existentialism, it's not particularly easy to define. But reputational damage can have monetary implications. Larger charities who have suffered reputational damage have lost as much as £16 million in funding, according to national reports. Smaller charities will face relative damage. It's a loss that certainly impacts service delivery and ability to fundraise. Like the animals in The Lion King, it's all connected in the great circle.
No.
It's vital that we understand cybersecurity is not about the fact of getting breached, it's about the impact of that breach. We are not alarmists, only realistic, and as a sector, we have to do more. Charities do not need costly tech or overly complex solutions. Simple behavioural changes will provide a massive boost. Think of cybersecurity like a regular health check, rather than a one-time box to tick. And do your research. The NCSC has lots of information on how to protect charities, including advice on how to back up your data, how to protect your devices, and how to use multi-factor authentication. You can also access discounted services through the Charity Digital Exchange. You can also find out more about comprehensive cybersecurity software, which doesn't have to cost massive sums. It can be cheap and cheerful like me.
What?
But the most important thing you can do, the thing that will make the most difference, is, drum roll please, just start. Start researching, start training, start looking at products, start raising awareness in your organisation. Go! Why are you still watching? In the immortal words of Gwen Stefani,
I think we're done.